Into a place where it's -2. Okay, we are live already. That was fast. So yeah, I've been to a place where it was -25. That's the minimum I've ever been to.
Yeah, so then it's not that. Do you want a second screen or something?
What?
Do you want a second screen?
Do you think so? We need it? Just. Hi guys. Okay, wow. It's mostly CS related doubts today. So whoever is asking.
I didn't know HSSC had these rooms. But you've never been in.
I didn't realize that until Wilmith every room was full. I booked this last week, one day, and Wilmith was still booked on Tuesdays. No, I booked on Tuesday as well, but like then we shifted to
I
Monday.
like Higgs better.
Here is better.
Higgs.
Higgs undergrad.
Yeah.
Okay, I have just been there once.
Let me just open this sub, right? So 1 year we used to sit in Higgs.
Cool. Let's just wait for 5, not even 5 minutes, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Let people. There's already 62 people, so we'll take in questions in 2-3 minutes maximum. Thanks for everyone who's so supportive about it. Is it worth paying thousands of dollars for studying CSE in USA?
Yeah. Well, you look at the
return
returns.
rate, ROI.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you're gonna cover that much in your first year of working itself. Like, not exactly the full fee amount, but consider your internship.
1.5 maybe.
Consider your internship and your 1 year of work.
CS at least.
CS cover it up, so there's no.
Yeah, for us it's not like that.
You don't go into a loss, basically.
Yeah, for you, you'll not even have to cover it, right?
You're
all funded.
Yeah, so or if you're funded, that's the difference. But if you're not funded, you still cover it up.
Is there CS spring intakes at Purdue?
There is a spring intake, but not that much.
Not that much.
So
somebody was asking me if there's a spring intake. So
there is. There's both semester intake.
We'll just wait for some time and then we'll take in questions. It's mostly CS related questions. Give us like 2 minutes, 3 minutes maximum.
There you are. Any way to expand this or something?
I don't think so.
That's fine.
I can just like zoom in here.
That's fine then also.
Why?
Let's see.
Do you see any questions which you would like to answer specifically?
You're getting flooded.
Yeah.
There's something that is bachelor's in India and master's in US beneficial. So, like the whole point of doing your bachelor's in India is it's cheaper.
I don't think you're in the frame.
Not okay. So there's a question out there by Parth. Is bachelor in India and master's in US beneficial? So the thing is, if you do your bachelor's in India, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Considering 4 years of your bachelor's in the US or something. Like,
you'll get broke.
Something like,
or unless you
assume like you'll be spending something like 22 grand per semester.
That is per semester.
Because you'll be spending 15 something on fees.
And then living
and you have to stay in the dorms for your first year, I think.
Maybe.
your food you have to spend in the dining course or something unless you take an apartment.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
so assume around 20K per semester, so 40K for the year, and that works out to 4 years. So that's like
You'll end
a
up
lot.
spending like 1 crore,
It's
one and
above
a
a crore.
half.
It's
Yeah,
around 1.5 crores if you
yeah.
want to do your bachelor's in the US. Whereas you will get a job after that in the US, but less salary
still,
than
yeah,
a
yeah,
master's
as a master's
student.
student, yeah.
So think of if you do your masters, you do it in 1.5, 2 years, and chances of you getting funded are most undergrads. And if you're a TA, you don't get a free refund.
And that's the thing, right? Even if you're like, if you're applying for jobs. So I was talking to this undergrad guy from mechanical, and he was saying that I'll have to do masters just because they'll not pay me that well, even
Yeah.
if I did my undergrad.
No, I mean you would get something, but not the same as a master's student.
Yeah,
And then like there are people who would work and then do it because you can't afford your master's after doing your
bachelor's.
bachelor's out here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cheaper to do it in India. Your bachelor's.
How integrated is math and CS
I
curriculum?
would say it would be stat more than math. So I'm taking my first math course next semester, which is my final semester.
Hmm.
I'm not taking a single math course, but for certain courses, there's a prereq of stat courses,
Hmm.
which is kind of deeply tied in because the department offers a joint masters in stats and CS. So you can do 5 CS courses, 5 stat courses,
Okay.
and get your a joint masters
Is
in
it
both.
like something like data analytics? Or something?
No, it's pure. It's a general degree, but you
Mhm.
get a stat and CS combined degree.
Okay.
But for that, you need to take half the courses of both of them,
Mhm.
and there's a list of which ones you can take from the stat department.
Okay.
You can't take all of them, and so there's a lot of stat involved rather than pure math. Like at the end of the day, you can consider stat as part of math, but it's
Yeah.
kind of different. Like
Yeah. Okay. Maybe.
so, like if you're doing engineering,
But is it worth it to do that 5 courses for stats?
yeah, I
and
have friends who are doing that because what happens is then your compulsory courses for CS reduce.
And is
You
it
don't have to do all of them.
so stat courses are easier
So
than this?
not really. It's just as what's your aptitude. Are you able to handle numbers thrown at you?
We haven't introduced you, so
Yeah.
everyone who's new to this live session, we have already done one live session with Dakshal, and Dakshal can introduce himself. I'll be
Hi, so for those of you who didn't see the last video, I'm Dakshal. I'm currently doing my MS in Purdue with the CS department, and I guess I have one more semester after this left. And yeah, so Parth wanted me to talk to you,
yeah,
help you out with your queries.
and it's official, right? The Cisco thing.
Yeah, no, I have to still complete that process. So
Okay.
Let's see.
Did you have any research papers?
I had I think I had 2 research papers. One of them was for and I had a full undergrad thesis, which was 1 year long.
Yeah.
So rather than the papers, do you have some kind of project work or a thesis or something? You need some proof that you can do research. So papers don't really matter that much, I'd say, for MS. PhD matters a lot.
Yeah, definitely. PhD is just pure research.
PhD, you have a one-on-one interview with the prof if you're applying fresh. But if you're transferring as an MS student to the PhD, you have it's worse than that because you need to have interacted with the prof for that transfer. So if you're doing MS, then I don't think papers should, but projects you would need. And there's someone who's asking. Okay, I don't know my question.
How the job opportunities for data science?
So data science, you're probably not going to get a job directly out of college. Okay. If you've not got any work experience in data science, since most of these guys, okay, so there are 2 things. One, data scientists are paid absurd salaries. So they want someone they can justify that
who has
cost.
Experience as
so
well.
The thing is, if you look right now in the Bay Area, we have a ton of people who are working on this stuff, and like the number of projects that they have or the internships. So you have to be able to grab something like that. And in India, we aren't exposed to that much data science in the sense of building some new frameworks or something. It's more of this is an existing framework, use it to try to build some new application of it rather than building the framework. So if you're someone who is building frameworks and all, then or contributing to TensorFlow or something on GitHub, then your chances are high of landing an internship in data science or a full-time position. It's
If you're a fresher, it's almost.
If you're a fresher who has like only academic experience, it's kind of difficult because all of them say you need at least 2 to 3 years of work experience for data science. So you can always jump into any company and then internally transfer.
Somebody asked me something about like I had a. Okay, is it if how bad is it to apply for MS and CS at Purdue for spring semester? Are chances of admits more?
First of all, at Purdue, the chances of intake are low anyway. And spring semester, I only know one person who joined in spring. Last semester, I don't know really anyone else who had joined in spring. So because she had deferred her admission this spring. So I don't know anyone who's come into the semester in spring. But
do you know if they take?
If they do, I believe, but not like the bulk. So supposedly this time the new MS batch, there are like I think that was 30-40 student intake with 8 Indians. So it's again they've reduced the size again of the intake. So there's a stat on the I think in the Commons in Dawson where they've put up I think the current CS department size is only 273 students with MS, PhD, everything combined. So over 5 years you have 273 students that works and it's kind of a small number.
Yeah, it is a small number. And okay, yeah, that's. And somebody was asking me like, can you help me figure out whether I should be considering MS if I'm not good at coding?
So last semester I didn't do any coding.
Okay, so because I was not sure how to.
So my first semester was full coding. All the 3 subjects I took had heavy coding in the sense that I didn't even open any of the theory stuff until the exams because I was just doing coding. Then my previous semester was fully theoretical. So I hadn't coded for 6 months then until my internship started.
And then
then again this semester I have coding and all of that stuff, but you won't lose touch with coding. So now it depends. What do you mean by should you be good at coding? So if you get a TA, you should be able to understand what is going on. So if you're bad at coding, you probably won't be able to TA.
What course are you TA for? Which course?
I'm for 251, which is data structures and algorithms. So that's a lot of Java programming and auto grading and Bash. So you need to understand at least. Okay, you can't be. And all your interviews are coding. So the way interviews out here work is not like in India where you have a placement committee, the company comes, you give an aptitude test. These companies don't believe in aptitude tests. So you'd have something like a career fair or something where you can interact with them. If they like your profile, they'll call you probably on campus for a coding round. So, for example, with for my internship, I met them at the career fair and they called me next morning. So at night at 10 p.m. I get a call, can you show up next morning for an interview on campus? So the interview was basically that guy took my resume, asked me a few questions on my projects, and then he just gave me a question. He said, can you solve it on paper for me? The code, can you write down the code? And that was the interview. And then that was the end of it. Even one of the interviews which I gave right now on campus, they gave me a whiteboard. They threw some puzzles at me and then they were like, okay, now here's a problem. Can you write the code for it? And then the next round was...
It's the easiest way to judge.
It weeds out the people. So for example, people would say that, what if I can't code well? Can I get a job? Now the thing is, these people, you're competing with thousands of people, out of which most of them can code. You all both might have the same academic background, but then they want someone who can code also, right?
But what if that person wants just to go into research?
So then you don't apply for... But even research involves coding. Because you have to, at the end of the day, create a proof of concept, right? So you need to code that out and it should be efficient. So if you want to do research in a PhD, all of these guys sit coding or doing research, mathematical, anything. CS means there will be coding involved. And
it's just like I enjoy the concepts of above areas, but throughout my engineering, I really struggled with the coding. I got this mail from somebody.
So the thing is, if you struggle with coding, it's going to be a problem for the interviews. Since I have not had a single interview where the first round was not coding. So all of them give you these online challenges or on-site whiteboard challenges, or they call you on site to their campus for coding. And I sat last week through a 2 1-hour interviews on site for coding on whiteboard. That whiteboard was the size of a wall and that was covered up in code.
2 hours of coding.
Yeah. So I'm writing it, not on a laptop. So the thing is, on a laptop,
It'll be easier.
it's easier because you can debug it.
Yeah.
But when you're writing on the board, you have to be aware of what goes where, the syntax.
True.
And they don't want it exactly the same. They just want to be sure that you understand at least how to code. Like, you can always refer to syntax online, but are you able to formulate some structure?
Okay.
So if that helps you, like, you don't have to know the syntax of Java, but you need to know the algorithm you're using.
Okay.
So maybe that answers that question. Next, let's see.
Any question which is interesting?
Is it necessary?
What languages are preferred there in US, Python or Java?
Doesn't make a difference. For example, you should be able to pick up any language and learn it. So my first semester, the machine learning course, we had to code in MATLAB. I had never used MATLAB before, and the homeworks were in MATLAB. So I had to pick that up as the course went ahead. Python I knew because of my undergrad thesis, so my few courses are in Python. I picked those up. Networks was in system level C, which we weren't taught in India. We were taught normal C, in Turbo C or something, not even GCC with access to system calls and all. So you have to pick up the coding. So if you're a CS student, I should be able to throw a language at you, and you should be able to, pick it up. I'm not saying become a master at it, but you should be able to write at least basic code in it and then build on top of that. So that's the whole concept. Do you know the base of CS rather than coding? Anyone can code. You can do these thousands of courses online on Coursera, on free, I don't know which are the other websites, in Khan Academy and all, where they teach you how to code, that anyone can learn, but no one can teach you, like online. It's not easy to learn data structures, algorithms. How do you formulate the problem? You can formulate a problem and ask someone to code it for you. But if you can't formulate that problem itself, there's no point of coding. So language is not really important.
Just a thought, like we are not taking every question because it's just not practical. It's better if we mention something like a specific question and we take it and we describe it pretty well, or we answer it pretty well. So if you're missing out questions, just don't hate on us. MIS versus MS jobs.
MIS, I don't think Purdue offers MIS, but MIS, you're not going to get a job as a software dev. You're going to mostly be an analyst or something. You're not going to be getting your hands dirty. There was a question up there which was interesting. Someone was asking what are the companies that come to the career fair at Purdue. So basically all the major companies come, and there's this on the webpage, CS webpage, you'll see the corporate sponsors. All of those guys come not for the career fair, they just come to show up at times. One full day is given to them. So they just show up in the department and they set up their stall, you go talk to them. And the thing is, you name the major companies, they show up. So there was this article somewhere which I read saying that tech companies only go to the big companies only go to the major colleges because the amount that they spend on this. Now, for example, I can give you Google. They come for the career fair and they keep events in the department. Now, their career fair, the amount of swag that they give out. They give you everything. So, for example, last year, they gave a YouTube selfie stick, they gave earphones, they gave I believe socks or something. They gave a plant. They gave a portable charger.
And everything is in a bag or something?
No, you just pick up what you want. Wow. Like all the companies do that. Now, I'm assuming the cost of that even per item, per like bag of swag must have been like $10-15.
Yeah, easy.
And you have hundreds of students come, because undergrads also come for this.
Yeah.
So that's like, and the amount they spend on travel, flying those guys in,
yeah,
and you have to take a developer off their job for a few days, because
so losing it there as well.
The thing is, big companies do not send recruiters; they send developers. So they can take your interview on the spot or next day, call you in or something. Even Facebook, they send devs. They send a recruiter plus some devs.
What are the top 5 companies which you have?
Top 5, you have Google, you have Facebook, you have Amazon, you have Intel, you have IBM, you have, name the company in tech, Microsoft. You have, let's see, Dell. Then you have a defense, you have NSA and all coming in.
Yeah, but
you can't apply.
Yeah,
it's basically you name the major company, they show up.
And this is specific to Purdue. Yeah.
This is the next one, which is yeah, does certification help? Certification helps if you want a job, depending on that. Like, most companies don't even care about that certification, because for them the logic is you should be able to demonstrate that you can pick up any task thrown at you. Are you versatile? So if you say that I only know networks, so there's someone who's asked, does Cisco certification help? So if you say you only want to work on networks and you can't work on anything else, the company is kind of reluctant then at times, because it's like they expect projects to change, requirements to change, teams will change. Yeah. So are you able to hop around? And colleges really don't care if you're Cisco certified, because
I figured that as well.
They are like, that's nothing to do with the coursework. Companies might be interested in that, but
so do you think that Cisco certification will help you getting a TA?
No. For example,
because I'm not even sure. For example, for our courses, it's like the software certifications matter because we are learning, we are teaching undergrads that.
But for us, it's assumed that if you're a TA for that course, you've done that subject in your undergrad. So it's not any unique software that's being taught. So for example, if I'm a data structures TA, I have to have done that in my undergrad. It's a core subject.
Okay.
One of my roommates is, I think, a computer architecture TA. Now, there is no certification that's going to help you for that. I mean, I can give, don't take this wrong with anyone, but you can get certifications very easily online, in the sense that most of those courses are on its own Coursera. No one's checking up on you. How are you doing that course?
No one.
You could be sitting with
There's no quality. There's
no quality assurance. It's just a piece of paper. So I feel it's better to do projects instead.
Yeah, true.
Like, instead of doing a Cisco CCNA exam, do that later on if you want a job or something, or you want to get into something specific. But if you just want admission, from that perspective, do projects, demonstrate your capabilities that way.
What was your profile, white guy? Can you tell your profile, white guy? His name is Dakshil, for anyone who wants to mention that clearly.
So my profile is, I did my undergrad from Mumbai University. I came directly after that to Purdue for my master's. My GRE was, I believe, 327 or 324. I'm not sure what my score was.
4 or something.
324 or something. It might have been with, I think it was a 159 in verbal and 165 in quant.
Okay.
But I had how much is the AWA on?
6.
So I had a 4.5 in the AWA.
Nice.
TOEFL, I had a 117.
Wow, that is a good score.
My GPA was 9.10. I had
9.1.
Yeah, 9.1.
Yeah.
Sorry, 10. Yeah, I had couple of 2 publications, a 1-year thesis, a couple of open source projects and articles online, and I used to write my own blog for breaking Android and Windows phone security and apps.
Okay.
So that might
Did that help you?
I could write about that in my SOP. So
did you write about
that? Yeah, because the thing is, so what I used to do with Android apps is figure out flaws, like all those file lockers and all that nonsense. So for that, you need to understand the system a bit, or show interest that you understand it.
Okay.
So you can always weave that into your SOP, right?
Yeah.
That this is how I developed interest in this field. And you have proof, and then same thing with developing projects. The main thing with developing projects is you don't have to lie on your SOP. It's about, you can then freely, it's just flowing then. For example, I create, I'd spoken about this last time. So I have these Twitter bots that I create.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, I'm interested in data science and AI and all, and I found interesting patterns in my Twitter bot. So I wrote about that in my SOP. That I noticed that this is the kind of connection that's formed, and it ties into the research this prof is doing. So that shows that you're reading up on also on what work's going on in the university.
Yeah.
Then,
Great.
let's see, there was one more.
Somebody asked, are you on GitHub?
Yeah. You can just type my name, Lakshal, and you'll find it. I don't have too much opened up out there, but I do have my Twitter bot with a tutorial up there.
What is it?
So basically, this Twitter bot that I created were two types. One was it automatically followed, unfollowed people, favorited tweets, retweeted, and all of that on its own without me pressing. And it grew to a network of I think around 3,000.
From your account?
No, I created a separate account on my own.
Okay.
And I got like around 3,000 followers in under 3 days or something.
Can you do that for me?
Without pressing a single button. But then I noticed that it creates a network of bots. Like bots talk to each other a lot rather than talking to humans.
Okay.
So I got a network of bots, and then they just started going crazy. It started favoriting tweets which are probably not safe for work and all of that.
Yeah, true.
And I had to kill that account down. And then other one I just created was a censor bot. It like just takes certain words and replaces it with something else. So if anyone tweets, say coffee, I can replace that with tea. Just tweet back, no, it should be tea. So that's the tutorial which I've put up on that. So that's just interesting. Let's see. There's someone asking
anything about ML or AI.
I don't know what is. So are you asking about ML or AI as a course, as a career option? I can't remember.
Let's be specific about it.
Yeah. Okay. Someone's asking this again and again. Should I join a coding bootcamp? No. Coding bootcamps are not something that a CS person should be doing, because that you can take it as a refresher course when you're working after many years to just refresh or something, but not if you're a CS student. Like those are just a waste of your money and time. Just you can learn on your own. I mean, if you're a CS student, you should be able to learn on your own. I think coding bootcamps are like tuitions.
Yeah.
And this is not a level where tuitions you shouldn't be spoon fed. So Android development, just pick up a project and learn that.
And every resource is available online, so I don't think you need to pay somebody to
teach you that. So, example, Google itself has how to start off with an Android app. And
can I learn that?
Yeah, but you need to know Java for that.
Okay, I know Java, but I
then you can try.
C-.
Yes, that doesn't matter. You can always try, right?
Yeah.
So that's the.
Can you put your GitHub link in the description?
I can give it to Parth here.
Yeah. Okay, sure. What like it'll be just like a slash, right?
No, let me just check for that. I have that somewhere out here. Yeah, there.
So it's
github.com/Dakshal. Yeah. Although it's not that open, so you'll just find a few things.
That's it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Then
does spring intake face problem finding internships? Yes. You'll have to have one because 2 semesters.
You have to have stayed in the US for 1 year before you can work outside off campus.
Yeah, but I heard that somebody has a way around it that you just
don't want to try that. Because it's the ISS is now going to sign your form. So you have to get them to sign your form for your internship, otherwise the company isn't going to say no.
Yeah.
So you have to be there for 1 year.
Canada versus US.
I'm not sure about Canada versus US part.
So what I heard from some of the Canadian people were like they were getting paid less.
Probably.
That's about it.
So the next question was, what websites do you refer to for coding? Competitive sites. I've not done competitive coding as such. Taken part in hackathons and all, and basically the book for interviews is Cracking the Coding Interviews. CTC, I think it's called or something. Cracking the Coding Interview, and I've not even finished that full book, but that's the book which you should be looking at after you've revised all your concepts. Then let's see, there's one more. Cybersecurity in the US is not advisable since you need security clearance.
You need to have a PR.
So if you have a green card or you're a citizen, then it makes sense. Otherwise, it's pointless.
Then all you can do is like go back.
Someone is asking, I don't know if that's a question or a comment. It's usually doing masters without work experience. It depends on what kind of masters you want to do. If you're doing a master's which has research-based courses, then it doesn't really matter if you worked or not.
Okay.
And if you want to do something, if you just want money, like you want a job immediately, like you want to work, you want more money, then a master's with work experience might make sense because then you directly jump up when you're hired. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay, for everyone watching right now, if you have like a specific CS query, I'm thinking because these live sessions are having redundant questions. I'm thinking to make a offline video which I can just put on my channel. So if you have my Instagram, it's just with my name. DM me the question and I'll screenshot and shoot a video with Dakshil in the coming week, and I'll just put it on the channel. It'll be easier for you to notice the question and it'll be easier for us to answer them as well. And so that we'll not have to answer it again and again. So just search by my name. It's exactly, and it'll come up, and just DM me. I'll screenshot the DM and we'll make a video about that.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a better.
I think it seems like people are mostly concerned about getting a job after MS.
I think that's all matters, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you're doing CS from a good college, you will get
a job anyway.
I mean, it's not guaranteed, but I mean, no, you will get a job. A good job is not guaranteed.
Okay. Yeah, but the good job is. Like,
I mean, okay, I'll tell you what a bad job according to a CS student definition is.
Okay.
If you're a master's student and you get a job at 60K, that's a bad job.
Definitely a bad job for a CS guy.
But it's still more than like
other branches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Someone's asking how important are the SOP and LOR. Basically, that's your full application. So your SOP, you're convincing the department why they should take you. And why you're in the set.
Yeah, and I feel like SOP is just one point of contact where you have a direct, like one-to-one with the professors and you. That is it. Like that's where you're explaining yourself.
Yeah, it's basically, you can consider that like
a recorded interview for you.
Yeah, something like that. And LOR is telling the profs what other profs think of you.
Yeah.
For example, if some prof writes that this guy's not even worth taking as a student, your admission chances end up there itself.
But I don't think like any professor would do that.
No professor would do that, but yeah, that's where LOR comes in, right?
Yeah, I just think like they check the credibility of the professor as well. Like
No, they do. Like obviously, I mean, if you're writing it from your own email ID.
No, it's just like if the professor has done some work or is a PhD or
it doesn't. I don't think it goes that deep really, but it's as long as you're from a college that at least has some standing. If you're from some college not even affiliated or recognized by the national board, like the national committee or something, then that's a problem. Now someone's asking how important is Linux to work there. Linux is very important in the sense that all your work will happen on that. I use Windows only for Netflix. I mean, I can do that on Linux, but Windows allows me to install the app.
Okay.
Even on Windows, I open up an SSH and use Unix systems.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's.
I know that much about CS just because I took a 5-credit course in my first semester. So literally, that is the only touch point for me to CS.
Let's see. Then there is someone asking how to prepare themselves for coming out there. I guess that I don't know. That's a CS related question. So my undergrad is EC. I got an admit for CS. How do I prepare myself
before coming over there?
You don't really need to.
Oh, you don't need to.
I mean, if you got an admit, that means you'll probably be capable of doing the stuff, right?
Yeah.
Relax, enjoy your summer.
Oh yeah, definitely enjoy your summer because you'll have to work a lot after coming here.
Let's see. Someone saying again and again, work experience. Is it preferable to do an MS in form science or specific domain like data science, data analytics? So, data science, data analytics, again, then you're narrowing your chances a lot. You can't work in any other field then, because if your degree is in data science, no one's going to hire you as a network engineer.
But they can hire you as a network engineer even if you're CS.
Yeah. So
keep it broad.
So like the company which I'll be working for full time, they've taken me up as an embedded system developer, and embedded is like hardware. I guess that's just because my undergrad was in in CE rather than CS.
Yes.
So they generalize a lot.
How did your interview go? Last one.
It went well. Like interesting,
Interesting.
long interview.
Yeah,
Like,
you didn't have anything to lose.
I didn't have anything to do, so I just went, gave interviews, got a trip.
Are you investing in Bitcoin? Are
No.
you investing?
No.
You
I
think
don't.
It'll drop.
I don't.
I have a high feeling that
So if
I
you
want to
study
invest in that.
So if you study cryptography
Yeah.
and how Bitcoin works, I don't have faith in that system for some reason.
Do you think the
Of
other
Bitcoin.
solution is better? The something like with the
Ethereum.
Yeah, that one.
I don't trust cryptocurrency. I know people trust it, but
They made millions, dude.
I know that, but I don't want to play it risky. I mean, I have friends who bought Bitcoins and made, but it's like I find it to be something that's floating in the air.
I know somebody who bought Bitcoin at 4,800 or 5,100, and Bitcoin.
It just jumped.
Yeah, last week is 66,000 something.
Yeah, but the thing is, again, are you willing to play around with that much?
Yeah, 5,000.
I mean, right now I wish I'd invested maybe 1,000 a few years back in Bitcoin.
Oh, definitely. I would. I wouldn't be even here. I would be chilling somewhere.
I can't afford to buy a Bitcoin right now.
But you can buy partial.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Do we have any MS mobile development courses in the US? Now, if you mean an MS in Android or iOS, no. That's not a master's course. That's probably a 3 credit course which you can take up in the undergrad department, but not for a full degree. Let's see.
Just mentioning once again, all the questions you have, try to DM me on Instagram so that we can make a offline video about it.
Yeah. Someone's asking, like, again, I think a stream which does not have coding, anything that does not have the word computers in it or electrical in it.
Yeah.
Or I don't even think that's the case anymore.
No, it's not. Even
you all have coding,
even civil people do.
Yeah, so I think coding is part and parcel of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. Which one would have no coding?
I don't think so.
I guess we take up dance or something.
Some arts course.
Not necessarily. Even they have coding. Somewhere or the other.
Dakshil, where did you do your undergrad in Mumbai? Which college?
Mumbai University, DJ Sangvi. Most of you have probably not heard of that. I think almost all of you might not have heard of that.
Probably all the Mumbai people.
Mumbai people will know of it.
Yeah.
But Mumbai University is like DU or something where you have bunch of colleges underneath it.
Yeah, true.
Multiple CS departments, CE departments.
Somebody was asking something about University of Kent offers MS in Android development. Would it be worth taking?
No.
Have you heard about it?
No.
We haven't heard
anyone
about
that
Kent
offers
University.
an MS in Android development, you don't want to do that MS. It's a waste of your money.
This is very specific. Very specific.
Your only jobs would be for Android. And no one really wants to hire someone who, like, I don't know anyone who's got an MS in Android development. Like, most of them are general CS or CE grads or undergrads.
We can take up questions from before because
Yeah.
we missed a lot of them.
Let's jump up a bit.
Will less GRE verbal affect my admission?
No.
No.
So
There's a
Purdue
minimum
doesn't need GRE.
Oh yeah.
They just want TOEFL.
Even UIUC doesn't need. A couple of universities doesn't need GRE.
Let's see.
Which all universities did you apply to?
So I applied to I think we lost video though.
Not sure though why. Can everyone? We should.
I don't
refresh
think it's visible. Yeah, okay, we are back.
It was just a refresh thing,
Yeah,
right?
I think it got refreshed.
So if you cannot refresh, just refresh the video if you can't see it. Yeah.
Sorry, where were we?
Which university did you apply to?
So these were my 3 main ones, and then I also applied to CMU and Georgia Tech. Now it turned out that in our batch, no one, my class at least, no one got CME for MS and CS.
Is it that competitive?
We don't know the reason.
Oh, really?
No one knows. And then again, when you're competing with the IITs and BITS,
Oh, yeah, that makes a total
difference again.
Yeah.
So
Brand value works every
So I
time.
consider Purdue to be luck. Otherwise, I would have gone to UIC.
I'm not sure how good it, at least for my course, it's not good at all.
Yeah.
So it depends course on course, how good is UIC. So
Yeah.
also UIC is in Chicago, so
Yeah.
I would pick Chicago.
No, I prefer Purdue.
Yeah, it's cheaper, definitely.
Not cheap. I mean, I feel it's more, like I said, it's the open campus environment.
Okay.
Like,
Do you
it's the
think
city.
have you seen UIC?
Yeah. So I stayed in Chicago for 3 months in summer, right?
Is it like in the city, UIC?
It's on the outskirts of the city, and some parts are in the city, but it's not like Purdue.
Okay.
You don't have the full town being your university.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That makes it easier.
That's
Cool. Anyone who has sent me a DM, I'll just check it.
Let's see if there's
Purdue's. Okay,
information
Vivek is
systems
Purdue.
now. I don't really have any information on information systems because that's again generic.
There's this guy called Vivek. He has a 338 score
Wow.
in GRE and like amazing profile. He's from BITS. He's asking, is Purdue a nice university to aim if you want to go for into CS research?
Yeah, totally. They encourage you to convert to a PhD if you want.
And do you think he can get like better universities because of like, the crazy profile?
But that depends again. Like, what do you want to do research in? So for cybersecurity, if you want to do research, Purdue is number one. And now, if you're doing research in cybersecurity, it can help you a bit in the sense that you don't want to work directly. So there's this thing called Serious with Purdue, where they're basically an interface between the government and the university, and you can work on projects.
Oh, so they hide stuff which
it's not hide. Yeah, they won't show you. It's like black, just
just
covered
how
up
they
stuff.
show in the movies.
Yeah. So you can work on that. Then
how would be Germany for MSCS?
That I think you made a video.
Yeah, I'm not sure about MSCS because that guy I made a video about was a civil engineer as well.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be good, maybe not sure. Sweden versus USA. What's your say? If you want to live a quality life, go to Sweden for sure any day.
Yeah.
But for the pay and for the language barrier,
Someone's asking,
it's not good.
AI research, Stanford. If you want to do AI research, go to Stanford. Although that's again like a 1 in a million chance. But AI research, I think Stanford is the gold standard for that. Is it necessary to paper presentation, publication, seminars, workshops? No. Publications, yeah, but
at least you should have some kind of research background.
Research background you should have, but
even if
yeah,
a thesis will do.
Yeah, mainly you need that.
Yeah.
Resources to learn Linux, I'd say Stack Overflow. Purdue good for AI. Now the CS department has I think one AI course in undergrad and other one in affiliation with the ECE department. So I wouldn't call it an AI school. I'd say it's good for systems and for security. The profs are brilliant for systems and security. And by security, I don't mean it doesn't have to be cyber security. It could be system security or something where like you're doing intrusion detection systems or operating system security.
We're not, even the mic got turned off. I don't know
okay,
why.
sorry.
I think we are live again.
Okay, so there's
Cool.
the question: can I continue freelancing while doing my MS? No,
No.
you can't work off campus even while you're doing your MS if you're not an American citizen.
Yeah, that's the same reason
That's the
why
reason.
I cannot monetize my content.
Yeah. So even I can code technically for when sell projects, like do like freelance projects, so people build websites or something, Android apps, but but legally I can't because I have to
Yeah.
file tax somewhere, and when you file tax, they're gonna come up and catch you for
Yeah,
working
but
illegally.
Okay, we'll talk offline.
We'll talk offline on
that. There's always some loopholes.
There is a loophole, but
Because I don't know how this thing's like so fucked up.
someone's asking Purdy good for quantitative finance. Do you just so I've not heard of the course at least in Purdue, but I do know what you're talking about. But if you have a CS background, you can get into that.
Can I live there forever after doing PhD in CSE? Yes, if you're hired by the university.
No, that's provided you get your H1B and then you get a citizen green card. Then
Oh, it's like a long 15
you can't
years.
just stay there legally.
Yeah, 15 years process or
Yeah.
something. No, for PhDs it's less, right? Like
It's quicker, it's faster.
Yeah, 2-3 years. Do you get guaranteed placements in Purdue?
I know everyone
is placed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're getting placed. When you have such a small intake, I think the number of grad students is probably the number of who are applying for jobs would be the same as the number of companies that would show up.
Oh yeah, that is true. I think that's the same for us, but like we have a lot of undergrad students as well who are competing for the same company, so that makes a difference. Somebody asked, do you pay tax on YouTube money? I don't earn any YouTube money. How will I pay taxes on that? I cannot. Hey, master in physics.
Someone saying they've done the undergrad in MEC and they're coming for CS. Will I get TA? So I have a friend who did MEC from IIT Delhi, but he worked for 5 years for DirectEye. And then he came here for a PhD in CS. So he had solid coding experience and he had done a minor in CS.
And like, where did he work?
DirectEye in Mumbai. So
what is that?
It's a company, tech company.
Okay.
So he had a minor in CS. So if you're saying you are coming after mech engineering, TA is difficult in the sense that if you don't have a CS course
and you don't have experience to back it up,
show back up, so someone else might get that.
What is the average salary after MS? For CS grad, it's crazy.
It depends where you're working, how you're working.
Do you think it's 80K for
So
average?
I'd say anywhere between 80 to 150.
Shit.
So in the middle of the US, Midwest and all that region, it will be 80.
Yeah.
On the East and West Coast, I would say something like 115 to 130.
Yeah, but that doesn't, it's like, I think both the numbers are equal because anyways you're spending so much on East Coast and West Coast for room rents only.
No, but so at the end of the day, you probably end up saving the same amount.
Yeah.
In terms of after taxes and room rate and all. Yeah. But you do have a pay slip that is larger.
Yeah, we're just saying 150. Is there any difference taking IELTS exam through IDP and British Council? I'm not sure about that. Does low GRE affect while getting an internship?
No. So basically, an internship, no one's going to ask you for anything related to your GRE score and anything. Just want a resume.
Yeah, GRE goes to the dustbin as soon as we enter the university. They'll never care for it again.
Someone's asking US would be expensive for MS and CS. You can go to it doesn't have to be expensive.
They'll earn a lot from this whole.
For two reasons. If you go to university that's funding you,
you
do a PhD, you're not paying anything.
Yeah,
the initial upfront investment is high in the terms of your flight ticket, buying everything, your GRE, your TOEFL, your applications.
You'll own up. Try.
Just it's again the video's gone off.
No. It's fine now. Like we can see it.
Okay.
Right? I apologize, guys, because it's back again.
So
your network connection is expensive. Check your connectivity.
It's
the internet.
What are you connected to? Yeah, so I don't have that at least. So
You can work on F1 visa as a student, right? You can just work in the university. That is
yeah.
it. If you can see our video and if we sound perfect, just like the video will know if it's perfect, or if it's not, just refresh it. Okay, well, let me check who's Varun.
Man, this is getting flooded.
Yeah, they're back again with like the flooding question. I'm not sure, Varun. What is your Instagram ID?
So someone's asking, did I do a master's program with or without thesis? I'm doing it without thesis since there's an option.
Oh yeah, I'm doing without thesis as well.
Yeah, and someone's asking ACM, ICPC, but didn't get into full science. It doesn't matter if you're good at competitive coding in terms of resume, but it does show that you are interested in that. So you could definitely use that to write what you learned, like show your strengths and skills and algorithms and data structures because of that. But that's going to help you with your job a lot if you're good at competitive coding. Is it fun there to live or India? I know India, but money, right? So to that question, what I'm going to answer is, at the end of the day, you're going to still like India, love India, want to go to India. So my ideal scenario is take the US salary and live in India.
Yeah, that's. I think that's
the best answer I can give to that.
That's what happens. Like a lot of people do freelancing work and they're earning in dollars in India as well.
So if I'm pursuing MS in some other state, can I get an internship in other state? Well, no one interns in the same state generally. So, for example, if you're living in Indiana, like West Lafayette is in Indiana, there are no major tech companies out here. So you have to move out of the state for working. So yeah. Does low GPA and undergrad affect internship? At times it does. So because I've had while talking to recruiters, the first thing that they do, I've noticed, I don't know why, they just circle my GPA of Purdue and my undergrad. They just circle that. So that's, and I don't know, the first comment is wow or something that they.
You have a 4.1 GPA?
No, I'll drop to 3.95.
Shit. That's still insane.
So that they circle that and then they circle your projects. So if they see a correlation that your grades are high and your projects are there, that shows that you're doing beyond academics.
Yeah, true.
And they'd rather take someone with both high ACADS and projects rather someone with just projects.
Sure, because you're managing time well.
Yeah. UG college matter? No. For your MS.
Is there any?
It should just be it should have a nice, clean reputation, or in the sense that it should not have come for any scandals or something in the news.
True.
Like major scandals, I'll say something like the CS department having like students, like illegal stuff going on or something.
Yeah, maybe.
There are certain universities which then later get caught for fraud and all of that.
Yeah, some of the even here, like some of the universities is just fake. Somebody asked, is there some kind of funding in Sweden? So whoever I know who is studying in Sweden, they don't have any kind of funding. I'm not sure if they have funding in Sweden.
That's it. I know Germany is funded.
Yeah, Germany is so free.
I mean, why would you go to Sweden instead of Germany for an MS and CS? Right?
Germany, for
I don't know that.
Language. They teach English courses. Sweden, everybody knows English, but Germany, they want you to learn German. It's difficult.
So,
University of Texas versus Purdue.
Depends which Texas university you're talking about. There are many.
Do you think is anyone?
There's Austin, there's Dallas, there's Stanford.
UT Austin's better than.
Austin is really high.
Really high.
Yeah.
And cheaper, but anyways, you're getting funded.
Yeah.
So.
Someone asking, can I do cybersecurity as major focus? Yeah, you can, because there is no field for MS in Purdue. You can take whatever courses you want. So you can take cybersecurity courses, and as long as your degree is not cybersecurity.
Even the frame.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
So as long as your degree is in CS and you take cybersecurity courses, it's fine. Let's see. Someone
is there any full scholarship in PhD? Every PhD is funded. No matter like which course is it.
Now, someone's asking, is coding really tough? Are subjects too tough compared to B subjects? So the difference out here is you're not learning basic stuff now anymore in your masters. You're building up on what you learned in your undergrad. And it's like open challenges thrown at you. stuff that's not been done before, or something unique, something that you basically can't Google your homework out here, your projects.
Oh yeah.
Because one, they're so large and unique that you're not gonna find anyone's code that does the same thing, or even part of it that does the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'd say that stuff then, because I know
For my undergrad course, there was a course like we and it was open internet, open books, everything. We couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
You can't. Is USA good for EC student?
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you know anyone from electronics?
Yeah. So I had a friend in ECE who was doing CS courses also.
And
he's in Apple.
Because he's working. Cool, dude. Apple. Awesome. We'll finish the live session in less than 5 minutes or so.
So let's just find some
quick questions. Yeah. Do live with the ECE guy. Let me find somebody. I have no idea about anyone from ECE. You can work. So that the guy who asked me like freelancing and sending money to Indian account, I'm not sure. I don't think that'll be legal. I don't want to say anything on that.
Let's see. I'm kind of confused.
For all the 120 people who are still watching, just reminding them that you can send in questions on Instagram. Just DM me or just mail me and put the subject line as like CS queries, and we'll try to make a offline video about it. So it's better not to have redundant questions every time.
I think we've covered most of the.
Yeah. And if you guys have any doubts, just watch the live session again. You'll probably solve the problem.
Sorry if you missed out anything, because there seemed to be there's a lot of chatter on the chat.
We definitely missed out some questions.
So someone's asking if I do a part-time job. No, I actually TA. So that's as good as a scholarship from the department, where your fees are handled, you get a stipend, but you have to teach in the lab and grade students, create labs, teach them.
But you get a fee waiver, you
get insurance, you get a stipend.
Sweet stipend, I'd say. First year at least, yeah. Varun, I checked your Instagram DM. We mentioned that the CGPA doesn't matter, your projects will matter a lot. Like if you make up for the undergrad, like somebody asked me that if they had a GPA of 7.76 in their undergrad, would it matter that much?
Probably would, because when you look at it that way, there are thousands of applicants.
And you filter out.
And the first criteria would be a GPA as a filtering criteria, because what happens is we need to read each SOP, each resume, and filter them out manually. So what's the fastest thing for them to do is just weed them out based on a GPA, then manually check.
And also GRE score I think GRE is just for that.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me, can you share your email? My Instagram is just by my name, and my email will be given in the description below.
Someone's asking.
Also, Instagram will be in the description. Yeah, somebody's asking what?
TA versus RA. Well, it's not always in your hand which one you get.
But I would say TA is better.
No,
RA is better.
RA is better. Like it depends on what your RA or TA is. So if
RA less work?
No, both of them have a lot of work.
Then
it's depending on what your interest is, or in the sense of sudden peak in work.
Okay.
So my weeks are basically like a curve sine wave. Like the first week of the project is like really like I'm free. Then suddenly there's like grading work and regrading, and it just jumps up spikes.
But I think like if you're RA, it'll be very constant over the time. It'll be more distributed. True.
Embedded.
Cool guys. We'll just finish. We'll just finish the live session. It's 1:30. It's 11 in India, so that's 1 hour thing. Okay, for everyone who has sent me a DM on Instagram, I'll check those questions. Try to schedule a video not this week, probably this week or next week, whenever Dakshal is free for like an hour or something, because I'm sure it'll take an hour to shoot that video. It'll be crazy. I would say thank you so much guys for joining in, and you can hit the like if you think this was useful. share the video to any of your CS friends and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'll see you next Monday or next Tuesday, whenever. Mondays or Tuesdays are for live, so definitely for the RC video, which I'm probably gonna edit by by this Thursday. So hopefully. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thanks, Takshal, for coming.
Thanks.
Yep, there we are.